What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax, and I'm starting a new series called Prospecting 101 that is geared towards beginning prospectors. And one of the reasons that I started this channel was to help all the people that are getting into the hobby of prospecting not make the same mistakes that I did when I just started. And Bowman Chrome baseball cards and prospecting is really difficult to grasp at first. You've got stats, you've got when to buy and sell, you've got different releases. It's just really overwhelming when you first start. So I'm creating this series. It's not going to be scripted. It's just going to be me kind of talking and trying to help everyone that's new to the prospecting hobby, like I said, which is why I really wanted to start this channel in the first place. So we are here on the Let's Talk Wax website, www.letstalkwax.com, and I am going to show you the article that I wrote. I'm going to do these videos and post articles as well. I know some people prefer to read over watching a video and vice versa, but all you have to do is come to the website and you'll click on this Prospecting 101 at the top. If you're on a mobile device, it should be in the drop down bar. Now, this is the first episode and it's going to be more of a hierarchy from basic level concepts, and I'm going to continue to work into more advanced concepts as the series continues. So even if you are a few months into prospecting or you're advanced, there's probably some decent info in here. And if you're just a brand new to the hobby, this is going to help you out. But we're going to start with the basic fundamental understanding of the big three in Bowman baseball and prospecting. So I'm going to click on my link here, and this is going to be just the article in PDF format. I'm going to try to move my browser over here for you guys. So the big three are the big three Bowman releases every year. Bowman's got a ton of different releases. There's Bowman Sterling, there's Bowman Platinum, there's Bowman Best, there's just so many different types of Bowman releases. But I consider the big three in prospecting to be Bowman, Bowman Chrome, and Bowman Draft. Now, it's really good knowledge to understand what entails in those releases as far as the checklist. So the first is it's a yearly cycle with these three releases, and I really wouldn't focus on any other Bowman releases in the prospecting world, just because Chrome is king and the Bowman first is just kind of like the expected currency within the Bowman Chrome prospecting world. So there's a yearly cycle that happens every year. The first release is Bowman baseball, and I use 2021 as an example in this video. Bowman baseball is the first release of the year, and it's usually released in the spring. Now, Bowman got really out of timeline this year because they delayed Chrome, but most often you're going to find Bowman in the spring. You're going to find down here Bowman Chrome releases in the summertime, and Bowman Draft over here releases in the wintertime. Now, the difficult part is that in all three of these releases, every card looks the exact same. So it's really hard to differentiate which cards come out of which release. You can see an Adiel Amador was out of 2021 Bowman, Ezekiel Tovar was out of 2021 Chrome, and Jordan Lawler was out of 2021 Bowman Draft. And all three of these cards are the exact same except for the numbers on the back. But why is it important to understand the big three? Because with new releases and things like that, buying right around release time is dicey because prices tend to settle quickly. So if you know which prospects are coming out of which release, it's just really good info to have. So Bowman, as I mentioned before, is the first release of the year. And I'm going to come back to Bowman at the end of this video because it's hard to explain the checklists involved in Bowman without explaining Bowman Chrome and Bowman Draft. So it's really a hodgepodge of autographs. There's checklist autographs that come out for this release every year. And one thing you want to do right around the spring, you want to start finding out when the checklist is going to drop so you can gather your information, gather who the prospects are going to be on that checklist. So Bowman contains a hodgepodge. It's a mixture of all the players that weren't in a draft product from the previous year's draft, players from the international pool that weren't in the previous release of Bowman Chrome, and some other guys that have been in the minor leagues for quite a while. And it'll make more sense of how the Bowman checklist is compiled as I go through the two other releases. So Bowman Chrome, the second release that occurs every year, right around summertime, focuses almost solely on the international draft class. So Major League Baseball has an international signing period where teams can go out and sign players from out of the country, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Japan, wherever. And they can sign these players as free agents. Most of them are extremely young, in the 16 to 17 to 18-year-old range. And it's a really high-risk product because there's not a lot of sample size involved with the players. But the majority of the players will have stats from the Dominican Summer League. Some go to the Complex League. And there'll also be some guys, international guys or just regular guys that are mixed into the release, but the release really focuses on the international signees from the previous year. Now, Bowman Draft, as you can see over here, focuses just as like it says. It's focused on the previous year's draft, and it contains the top prospects from high school and from college that were drafted in the previous year. Now, there's no base vets like in Bowman. In the regular Bowman release, you'll get veteran cards in there. In the Chrome release, you'll get veteran cards in there, and they're all Chrome cards. But in draft, you won't get any veteran cards, which is really cool because it focuses solely on prospects. And it's really one of the fan favorites in the prospecting community that comes out in the wintertime following the previous year's draft. So going back to Bowman now, you can kind of see how it becomes a hodgepodge of leftovers from previous years. In 2022 Bowman, we got Colson Montgomery, who was held out of 2021 draft. We had James Wood, who was held out of 2021 draft. So it compiles, and Topps does this to kind of pad their checklists. They'll save guys from the draft and put them on a Bowman checklist, or they'll save some international prospects from Chrome and put them on the regular Bowman checklist as well. So the 2021 Bowman or 2022 Bowman, any Bowman release really is just a broad mixture of all the players that were left out of the international Chrome release and the draft release. And that's really about it for this episode. I wanted to, like I said, do this video just so you get a base knowledge of the three releases. I wouldn't focus on any releases outside of these three. If you're not ready to get into autographs and start putting a significant amount of money on the line, you can go to parallels. You can go to non-autos, and that's what we're going to go into in our second video. Prospecting 101 episode 2 is going to be understanding the Bowman Chrome first, because it's kind of king in the hobby. And you'll notice in different releases, you'll have non-first cards, like Adiel Amador's first Chrome was in 2021 Bowman. And he'll be in different releases, but they won't be first Chromes. And that's another reason why it's important to understand each release, who the first prospects are in those releases. And that's what we're going to go over in our second Prospecting 101 episode. So if you guys enjoyed this, you can find the PDF files on the website. It's easier to organize over there and put it in a hierarchical order, but I'll also create a playlist on YouTube where you guys can hopefully see the progression from, basic concepts to advanced concepts, and hopefully over the course of the next year or two, we can start working into some of those advanced concepts. But as always, I appreciate the views. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to take a look and see if I can help you in any way. But that's going to wrap up this first episode of Prospecting 101. Y'all have a great day.